Alamogordo Tigers head football coach AJ Cisco joining us, and we were talking before we started. We don't know what you did wrong or somebody on the coaching staff did wrong to Mother Nature, but it's just been ridiculously bad luck for you guys.
It's been an interesting 2019 so far this year due to that, but it's something that's out of our control, so we just got to continue to do what we were supposed to do and line up every Friday. And
the things that are in your control, obviously, is y'all played well and you came back in a game. You wondered with the way things were going, whether it was going to be team needed to go score for score with how good that Lovington offense is, but the defense stepped up and you guys found yourself down 15 and came back and tied it up.
Yeah, we played well. We started off slow again, which is something we've talked to our kids about this week, is getting off to a fast start and doing something early. And defensively, though, we give it that big touchdown on the first series, and then we got some big stops after that. And we played really well defensively, and then we're down 22-7. Our kids never panicked. Went and scored again. Got the ball in the second half, went down, scored again after another big defensive stop, and we made it a game. And then, unfortunately, those last two possessions, they scored on the last possession, and we never got to finish our last possession to see how the game. And then our kids and our staff were pretty bummed about it. We wanted to go out there and finish that game, and we waited about an hour and a half to see if we could get it done. Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't, but that was a game that we thought we had a chance to win, and I know nobody else in the state gave us that opportunity, but we thought we played okay. It still wasn't very good. We missed some big-time opportunities offensively. First play of the game, we missed that throw big time of going down the seam. It's wide open, and our quarterback just made a bad decision, and you live with those with teenage kids. We did some okay things at times, but we still got to find a way to get better and execute in crucial situations, which I thought we're doing a better job of doing that.
Yeah, overall, offensively, you guys drove the ball well, with the exception of the mistakes that were there. Ran the ball well with either Sean in the first half or Julio in the second half. Julio stepped in and kind of played the Wildcat quarterback, and it certainly looks like you guys found something there in terms of what he can do for you.
Yeah, that's something that we've been working on all year to get, and just trying to figure out when we got the right personnel and how we want to do it, and make sure that we've had some injuries that kind of dinged us up and not being able to do some things. But getting back during the second half was a big spark to us and doing something different, and we put a bunch of new formations out there for people to have to deal with. Coaches from Lovington came over after the game and said that one formation's not fun. We said that's why we're running it, man. Yeah. But he did a good job. We made some big plays. We made some big catches in those situations, and he broke some big runs when we didn't necessarily get it done in the box. He'd break it out and get something for us, so it was good for us in that regard. And Sean had a good game in the first half, and RV threw the ball pretty well. He was a lot better sitting in the pocket, being on time. The one interception is on us. We called the play. We broke a big run play, got down to the 30, and we took another shot. We were going for a throw. We weren't there to just play well. We were there to win a game, and credit to Lovington, they played the play. And he's trying to throw the ball out of bounds and didn't get enough on it, and threw it back in. The kid made a play, so we didn't turn the ball over in that regard in those situations. But our defense played their freaking tails off, and I'm so proud of those kids and proud of our guys up front offensively of making that a game. And that's somewhere we've lost 2 games this year by a total of 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And I was going to mention Ryan had his best game of the year. He looked much more comfortable in everything that he was doing out there. And then defensively, you guys were really able, with the exception of those dang third down plays. I think every touchdown that they scored was on a third down and long. It's a case of they were able to really slow down Casey Perez, and they were patient. And Jarman, he was a terror in the back.
Yeah,
of that game.
We played, and you saw the kid, and we talked about Casey, and he's a phenomenal athlete, and he's one of the better quarterbacks in the state. And we had our hands full defensively that night, and we felt, even going back after the game and then watching the film, we did a dang good job of bottling him up and not getting him loose. And the first completion he had, he scrambles around and finds a kid down the sideline. But that was the only time that ever happened against us, where he got one like that. He broke a couple of big runs on us, but we did a good job of keeping him in front of us and making him have to throw the football. And I think we limited him to 100 yards rushing or something, and just over 100 yards passing. So it was a good night for us. The 3 blown coverages absolutely killed us, but we'll live with that. Those are teenagers and making plays, and we got to do a better job of getting our kids in situations where they're comfortable to do certain things in our secondary.
Yeah, and I would say the linebackers and the DBs did a really good job, because there were a lot of plays where he's trying to do his scramble around and extend the play, and for the most part, he wasn't able to do that to you guys. And I think last year he was able to make.
Yeah, he lit us up last year, and coach, our defensive staff did a good job coming up with a plan for it, and then working it all week with our kids to simulate it as best as we could. And we got some shots on the kid, and it kind of slowed him down. I mean, we got some big shots on him. I think we took 3 or 4 big shots on him, and that really slowed him down, and we were kind of wearing him down at that point. But, credit to Lovington. That's a good football program, good football team, well coached, being resilient and winning a game on their home field in a situation like that. That's what good football teams do, and I expect to see those guys playing late November, early December in 4A.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense. And another team where you guys are, play considerably better at from one year to another. That team's not a whole lot different from last year's. You guys have obviously shown big improvement, and here comes into town another one of those teams this year that really, gave you guys a hard time last year, and another chance to go out there and show how much this football team, this Alamogordo Tiger football team, has improved.
Yeah, and then we talked about that. Of we have that hit list going, and we've missed some opportunities, but we get Deming this week, and they're well coached. Coach Simmons does a good job with those guys, and that's not a necessarily easy place to win at, and he's done a good job the last 4 or 5 years there of getting that place to be a football town. Their numbers are down. They graduated quite a bunch of seniors last year on both sides of the ball because they were a pretty dang good football team last year. Went too deep in the playoffs. But they got 2 kids that absolutely scare the living daylights out of anybody, and Jesse Varela and Cesar Chavez. And those 2 kids can flat out fly and make plays. Varela's a quarterback, Chavez is a tailback, and they don't do anything different than they did last year. Except those 2 kids can make you hurt real bad. We watched last year's film. We had a ton of success running the football last year. We had 6 turnovers, I think, is what we had in that game last year. So we did a lot of things last year, shoot ourselves in the foot, and then play really bad defensively. I mean, the opening kickoff, the Chavez kid broke it and returned it. So we got our hands full on Friday. We're excited. We got to find a way to keep Chavez and Varela in front, keep them in the pocket, and keep them in between the tackles, because if they get loose, I don't know if we got anybody can catch them.
Yeah, and I mean, the message has got to be to the guys, this year that, I mean, you all could very easily be 4-0 sitting right now. If weather obviously isn't an impact, and I mean they've played well enough to win every football game.
We have, and like I said, whether it's one side of the ball or not, we've played well enough to give us a chance to win. And we told our kids, one of our kids said we could be 4-0 right now. We could, but we're not, and we're 1-2, and we've lost 2 games by 2 touchdowns combined. So we got to find a way to get over that hump, and maybe it's this week where we can find that big hump and get over and kind of get this thing going, snowball downhill for us, especially going into those last 4 games of the year against top 4 teams in the state, which we want to play well at and try to get a game.
Yeah, well, and I would say I think the confidence should be there that you guys, we know that Los Lunas and Artesia and Roswell and Goddard are very good football teams, but it certainly would seem that you guys at times could hang with them last year. This year, from what we've seen from this football team, they should feel like they should be able to compete and maybe win a football game.
We do, and you go back to last year with that group against Los Lunas, it was a 14-point game in the 4th quarter, and they tacked on 1 or 2 late to kind of put us away. Roswell was a 7-point game right before halftime. We had our chances. I mean, with that football team last year of kids just battling and getting after it, we feel confident this year, and our kids do that. We're not just going to go win 1 game. We're going to try to win a couple of those games and cement ourselves in the playoffs, and that's something that we've talked about with our kids this year is we got to win some football games in the playoffs. And our schedule's not the easiest schedule in the world. And we've had some things kind of bounce against us in terms of lightning, but Deming's the biggest priority on our minds right now, and this is a big win for us to get over there and win at home in Tiger Stadium against Deming, a good football team. They own some wins over some teams that'll probably be district champs in other 5A districts. That'll be huge for us to consider us over those guys.
Absolutely. And should also mention that this is the next to last home game of the year, so if you haven't been out to see Tiger football this year, there's only a couple more opportunities. It is Military Appreciation Night coming up this Friday as well for you guys.
It is. Like I said, yeah, we're top heavy in the schedule of having home games, so we're about to be some road warriors. It is Military Appreciation Night. They got some cool things planned for that. Still working on trying to get that flyover deal done. That'd be pretty cool. I wish we could get that one done. But it's Military Appreciation Night. It's the second to last home game. We won't have another home game for 2 more weeks until October 11th or 18th, somewhere around there. The other big thing is we've got a young lady named Ariana Diaz who's going to be a co-captain for us and come hang out with us in pregame and lead us out of the tunnel. She's going to be wearing a Tiger jersey on the sidelines with us. And we want everybody to come out there and see that phenomenal girl. And if you haven't got a chance to hear her story will greatly impact you and touch you to the soul, and we got to hear that last Thursday when she was our character guest speaker. So we're excited to get her out there on Friday and get her under the lights and let her realize that she's a part of our family, and hopefully we can play well in honor of her and play well for this community and this town who you're starting to figure out that Tiger football is on a different turn now, being a consistent thing where it's not just a 1 or 2 year deal. We want this to be a consistent production and performance week in, week out, and year out.
Yep, I know you've dedicated your season to her, and the entire team is hoping to raise some funds for childhood cancer awareness. And
yeah, they're going to do some things at the game on Friday. We did it last year with Bella when she was our co-captain, and we dedicated our season to her. They're going to be passing around buckets in the stands on Friday, and all that money is going to go directly to Ariana and her family to help with expenses. So we want to see a big crowd out there to watch a great football game and watch a great football team in our Tigers, but be out there and support our community. And this young lady is an absolute trooper, man, and she's part of our community, and we want this community to realize that and come love on her and embrace her the way that we did with our football program and our cheer program, and just give back to our community and the kids in this place, because it's a really special community that we're lucky to be a part of. I'm lucky to be a part of it and live here, and my family is, and we want this community to relish that moment on Friday night. It's going to be a pretty cool night.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll see you on Friday.
I appreciate it, Charles.